met Anthony through Musab. I knew about his music before I met him. And I met him through, at that time in Rhymesayers, when Rhymesayers first started, Slug was, interestingly enough, not the main rapper on the label. Like, he was one of the interesting dudes that was still kind of developing, but the guy that made sense to our ears was Musab, who was calling himself Beyond at that time. And so, I had heard their music and I thought it was really interesting, and, it was a really interesting style of production. They were sampling a lot of like classical music, like really eerie classical music with these like enormous, really kind of industrial sounding drums. And it sounded like Minnesota in the winter in a cold basement, and it's dark. It's only light for a few hours a day, and like it just really sounded like that. And then these guys doing this like really kind of like malevolent rhymes. It's really crazy and really dope to me. He would make like 4 or 5 beats every day throughout the week. And all of the rappers that worked with him, and it was 2 main ones, it was Musab and Slug, they each would write 5 to 10 songs a week. And then on Sunday night, they would all get together, they would come over, some people would come over earlier and watch football, and then when football was over, they would spend all night recording. And I mean, they literally each would make 15 songs. Like Ant was making probably 30 songs a week. I mean, it's really a normal thing for him to just crank out music, work for several hours until you get one done, and then drink some coffee and start over again. And, do that 4 times in a night, 5 times in a night. He's been doing that for 25 years, So the first time that I got to work with him, I went over there, and I'd been like really trying to get him to work with me and trying. And I know now that he put it off because he thought that more standard rappers, which is what I was compared to them. I was like a meat and potatoes. I was trying to be KRS-One, where they, Slug was trying to be a cross between like a Bob Dylan and Hieroglyphics maybe. So, their stuff was a little bit more avant-garde than me, a lot more. And so he thought I was gonna come over and be like, yes, y'all, to the beat, y'all, hip hop, all for the culture and all, that's what he thought I was gonna do. And I didn't really know how to do anything else, but I knew that I wanted to get some of what they had, and I wanted to learn how to do that. So I went over there, and I had this song that I had written in my head that didn't really have a form, and he played a beat and we did it, and it was really powerful. And we ended up making 2 or 3 songs that day. And then at that time I wasn't writing my songs down, and so he just really started working with me, like developing me into a songwriter. And I think the reason why it works is because I just submit to what he's saying. Like, he doesn't say too much to me about the words, unless on very rare occasion he'll say, I don't think you say this word. This word doesn't sound right in your mouth. That's not a word for you. Like back in the day, like if I would say pimp, he would say like, you shouldn't say that word. That has nothing to do with who you are. You shouldn't say that word. You're saying that because they say that in rap. That's whack. That's corny. Don't do that. Because the thing about him is that he's very rooted, and sometimes creative people can just kind of float all over the place, which is fine. But you need somebody that's rooted to remind you of who you really are and what it really is. And I'm very rooted identity-wise, like in terms of what I believe and what I'm about. I'm very rooted in that way. But musically, I can sometimes drift away from that. You know what I mean? And so the times when he doesn't like something, it's not honest. Like, he feels like, you're being influenced by somebody, or you're doing something, this doesn't feel like you. And so he really connects with people and with music based on who the essence of the person is, and what the essence of the music is, and what the essence of this vibe is. And so sometimes there'll be things like, you played me something that you guys did the other day, and I was really loving it. And then there's like one guitar sound that came in, and that sound was just like, I didn't get it. But to him, it didn't matter, because the root and like the core essence of what that music was there. So he was like, fine, take that sound out. Like that's incidental to him. It's inconsequential. I mean, like he doesn't care. That's not a central theme of the thing. So that's to me why the relationship with him is so valuable, because he's constantly seeking to reconnect you with your greatest truth and with your root. He's always trying to root you in what's genuine, what's real, what's authentic.
How can you compare that to working with Jake, who produced your last record?
So you and I worked with Jake 1, 2, and that's how we met. The difference with that is that Jake is just really concentrated on making good rap music. That's his root. He's rooted as well. But whereas like Ant is rooted in who are you as a man? And let's get that to the world. Jake is rooted in what is hip hop as an art form? And that, you know what I mean? And we connect on that, you know, because that thing that made Ant kind of be like, can he be an artist though? Or is he just gonna get in there and just spit bars? That's the thing, that spitting bars is where me and Jake connect, you know, which is like a really interesting thing. And no matter what Jake does, no matter who he works with, it's Jake 1. It's Jake Dutton, you know what I mean? It could be a beautiful Usher, Wale with what Usher on the hook, singing about weddings and getting married, but those drums are gonna snap, you know what I mean?
Keep the sneak.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Whoever he's working with, whatever he's doing, it can be pretty and it can be all that, but those drums are gonna be smacking. I think that the really great, important people remind us of what the essence of things are. They're operating from the essence of the thing. And they really connect us back to that. And so Ant and Jake both do that for me in different ways. So like if you ask Ant what this song's about, he'll be like, oh man, it's about his religion. But he's not gonna say like, all light in the world is really a reflection of the light of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. You know what I mean? Which is like what the song is saying. He's not gonna say that. He's gonna be like, this is about his religion, man, but yeah, it's dope, And the same with Jake. If you ask him those songs, that's Ali doing his revolution rap, That's Ali's Black Power rap. But does he like the flow? Does he like the way my voice is? Does he like the cadence of it? Does it sound raw to him? Yeah, that's a really, it's very valuable.